When you jump up, what do? You come down. But when you grow up, you stay up. So the first thing I realized is that when you own a business, it is the fastest way to build wealth. It quickens your journey to financial freedom. When you are in an employment, enjoy the discipline of hard work. So when you leave paid employment, don't stop being hardworking. Rich people don't work to earn, they work to learn. There is just something about actively engaging our hands to do business that makes a difference. So you can be an employee, but it's just a starting point. It is not meant to be a permanent solution. Amen. Nobody realizes their financial dreams by just being an employee. Even if they give you an official car or they give you an official house, in one instance, they can take it away. The thing about being an employee is that your faith rests in the feeling of somebody. Let me give you this advice. Before you resign, make sure you have a minimum of 6 months' salary saved. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, before you just go and resign. So you don't resign without wisdom. Amen? And you don't go and resign out of reaction. I don't like that, the way they are talking to me. Sometimes God has a position that employer to train you, to develop something in you. Listen, rich people don't work to earn, they work to learn. The rich don't work to earn, they work to what? Learn. So when you get into an environment, when you start from being an employee, don't forget that your purpose is not to just make a living. Your purpose is to gain opportunity to know how a business is meant to be run or how a business is not meant to be run. A friend of mine was serving in a church many years ago. And they were just doing things anyhow in that church. And he said that even though I had to leave, but at least I have learned how not to do ministry. So there are times when you leave an employment and you learn how not to do business. There are times when you see some businesses and you can monitor their trajectory and you know they are going nowhere. And then you pick up the lessons that there is within that system. And then you don't just throw the baby out with the bath and the water and everything. You know, I was sharing with my wife one revelation that I got yesterday in Acts chapter 27. I called it broken but useful. What does that mean? The meaning of that is, I remember it was a story of Paul when they were in the sea and everything was against them. Of course, the ship crashed. However, the fragment of the ship was helpful in taking people to the shore. Amen and amen. Even though the ship was broken, yet it was still useful for them. So even though you don't have a good working experience there, but there are useful tips that can help you in your future. You see, let me tell you what, we should develop the ability to learn from everything. It is not bad to fall down. Always pick something up when you fall. Don't just rise up. When you make a mistake, don't just rise up from that mistake. Always what? Pick something up. Otherwise, you have missed a great opportunity to learn how not to do things. So that takes me to the third way by which you can make money, and that is becoming a business owner. Becoming a what? Business owner. This is where you have the ability to build an effective systems and structure. That should be the desire of anyone that is entrepreneurial. If you are entrepreneurial, you should desire to move from being the Lord, the Alpha and the Omega of that business to becoming what? A business owner. Building systems, building structures. And this is where it starts from. Let me say it this way. Even though you are still self-employed, even though you are the one managing most of the thing, guess what? Develop an organogram. Pastor, I'm just selling small cosmetics. It is 5,000, 2,000. Why am I? Develop an organogram. CEO, vice president. Amen. And then 5 departments. This is the account department. This is the HR department. This is the sales department. This is the marketing department. You understand what I'm talking about? Develop an organogram. That's the starting point for being what? A business owner. A business grows or diminishes in the heart of the owner. And the reason why you have to think like this, like a business owner, is because how you see the business matters. How you see it, what? Matters. So the moment you start developing an organogram, it stops being self-employment to you. You start seeing it, what? Differently. You begin to look forward to the day when you hire HR manager, when you hire CFO, when you get what I'm saying? You begin to look forward to it. Why? Because you are already winning on paper. That's being a business owner. This is where you begin to develop what we call management and leadership skill. Your leadership ability determines your effectiveness. That's the law of the lead by John C. Maxwell, which means that the more I grow in leadership, the better my business can become. But sometimes people are very high on leadership and low on management, and then the business is not going anywhere. Management is about effectiveness of the structures, effectiveness of the system. But leadership is vision. It's being visionary, training people. I realize that the office you are working in today was started by somebody. That business you are working with today, guess what? Somebody started it. So you can be a business owner. It is the will of God for you. Let me tell us a few benefits of owning businesses, of owning your business. And you can not just own, you don't have to own one. You can be vested into many more businesses, but don't do a business that you are not informed about. All this money doubling business. Don't let crypto cripple you. When you jump up, what do? You come down. But when you grow up, you stay up. So the first thing I realized is that when you own a business, it is the fastest way to build wealth. The second thing is it quickens your journey to financial freedom. If you do your calculations. So what do we mean when we use the word financial freedom? What we mean by financial freedom is the age you get to where if you don't have to work another day of your life, all your bills will be covered, including your frivolities. Are you getting what I'm saying? That it's not like you want to buy clothes now. The only thing you can pay for is NEPA. No. That's not what I mean. Financial freedom is where you get to the point where all your bills will be taken care of. You want to do vacation with your family, you can do it 3 times in a week. So, and you don't have to work again. Here you know that most jobs will not give you that. So, but when you do a business, one of the things that can happen is that it will quicken your journey to financial freedom, not financial security. The job gives you financial security. The business gives you financial freedom. The reason why some people are not in church this morning, for example, is because they are not financially free. They have to go to work, or they worked late, so they are tired. The other thing I like about being the benefit is that it gives you control over your time. It gives you control over your time. Don't work to live, live to work. Being a business owner gives you control over your time, but let me say this, it is not an opportunity to be lazy. You can't be lazy and make anything good out of the business, especially when you're in the building phase. When you're in the building phase of a business, you have to, and you know what I realize is that the much energy that you are giving to your current employment, if you give it to your personal business, it will flourish. So what that means is this, see, when you are in an employment, enjoy the discipline of hard work. So when you leave paid employment, don't stop being hardworking. The fact that you have left paid employment does not mean you shouldn't wake up early anymore. But you have control over your time. Still invest the 8 hours or 9 hours that you invest in that job in your business. There's this thing called the 10,000 hour principle by Malcolm Gladwell. There's a book, is it The Tipping Point? He said it, or which other book? I can't remember which one. Where he says that everyone that is an high flyer has invested a minimum of 10,000 hours before they became what? High flyers in that job. So what that means is that you need to start counting your hours. And you need to start investing your hours. Amen and amen. Till you get to what is called the tipping point, where every effort seems to be making a difference. Every effort seems to be what? Making a difference. Why? You have invested enough time in it, so every drop in that cup overflows. The business also pays your bill. World over, everywhere, business people are protected more. They put their personal expense on the business. Where when they pay you 1 million naira and the boss also earns 1 million naira, say, you see, we are getting the same money. No, you are not getting the same money. The business pays the boss's children's school fees. The business pays the rent of the boss. And it's not, see, the person is not cheating anything. No. It is just normal. It's just normal. Those ones, they won't tax them. In fact, business also protects you from taxes. You will pay tax, but you are not in the employee bracket. Another reason why you should do business, another benefit of owning a business is that business creates job for other people. And lastly, the business creates wealth for the kingdom. Business will create wealth for the kingdom. I realized that the kind of money that you can be afflicted with is not in paid employment, it's in the business. I get what I'm saying? So business creates wealth for the kingdom. I usually do a calculation and arithmetic. So let's say that it costs 5 million naira to use this place on a monthly basis. So let me ask you, if you earn 1 million naira, your tithe is how much? 100,000. Is that not so? Are you listening to what I'm saying? Now, if your tithe is 100,000 naira, how many people like you do I need to pay the rent on a monthly basis? I need 50, in case you are struggling with maths. To give me 100,000, hopefully everybody will be faithful to their tithes. I need at least 50 people to give me what? 100,000 naira to be able to pay for their accommodation. Whereas, somebody can do business and make 50 million naira profit in 1 month, and the person pays a tithe of how much? 5 million. So how many of those people do I need? So that's why somebody said that, God, just give me Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Mbappe, give me another name. Neymar, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and no other person in my church. You know that church has broken through. The kingdom is further expanded and enlarged and provided for when people do business. So let your desire for doing business be that I want to be afflicted with so much wealth that the church will not need to talk about money before the money is done. Number 4, becoming an investor. That's what Warren Buffett is like. At this level, you don't work. You let your money work for you. Your investment pays enough to get your bills and more covered. That is the best level to be. Becoming an investor. You work out of pleasure, not out of pressure. It's not like, that's the way some people live abroad. The reason why they are hardworking is because the bills don't stop. They have to keep working. They can't even go on holiday. Why? At the end of the month, the king will collect something from them. Brother Sam will collect something from them. Now, it is at this place that you need to develop financial intelligence, knowing about things like shares, stocks, treasury bill, the money market, bonds, real estate. And you can decide to be an active or a passive investor, depending on how you discuss with whoever you are. And sometimes you can invest in small-scale business.
Pastor, thank you for the teaching. I recently ventured into a business.
Okay.
And at the moment, I have 2 persons I supply.
Awesome.
And huge prospects. I can increase my client base. But it would mean that my clients will hold me for close to 14 to 22 days before they pay me. And in my recent conversation with some persons who had gone ahead in the business, they've shared concern about how they end up owing and not paying you. At the moment, I'm okay with the 2 persons I supply. But there's huge prospect for my client base to increase. But at the risk of
being owed.
How do I balance this?
Your case is very easy. Now, this is what I would say about that. I understand what you're talking about. I understand how it works in the supply world sometimes like that. And what I would say is this. Now, every business should have an element of risk. You should just do what we call calculated risk. I get what I'm saying. However, don't let the fear that people plant in you stop you from scaling. And this is what I will say to you. That's why we are not doing business naturally. We are doing it supernaturally. You can't hold me. Do you want to keep sleeping? You see, so that's where we leverage on the supernatural advantage, where we can go to God and report people to God. You have God on your side. It happens in that business terrain. Believe God that you will not fall into the hands of people like that, but also be ready. That's why you can't neglect your closet. You have to develop the ability to report people to God. Amen. Say, God, you know this money is going to support your kingdom. And this person is holding on to your money. Amen. And mention their name before God. You just see that they won't be able to sleep. And they will be the first person to call you. So that's what I will say. However, you can also sign an agreement with them, which makes them liable. It shouldn't be word of mouth. You get what I'm saying? There should be an agreement. And I know some people don't answer to the agreement, but I've told you the first thing that you must learn to do, don't report them to the police, report them first to God. Let angels go around and collect your money for you. But sign all the things that need to be signed. Let everything be documented and be clear. So you're going to pay me money in 14 days. By the time I can send you a reminder on the 12th day that thank you so much for your patronage. Thank you for your business. Amen. And then on the 14th day, we look forward to getting this and blah, blah, blah. And then if they are not, keep sending them reminder. While you are sending them reminder, be reporting them to God. Amen.
I'm working in a firm, and now I'm trying to build my own company. But I'm doing the same thing as my boss. The same thing as my boss. I'm trying to build mine. And as the head of the unit in the company, I cannot be seen trying to promote another company that does the same as us. I have not even been able to gain local recognition, let alone global recognition. But then I don't have the time, and I don't know how to go about pushing mine. I don't know if it's clear.
I think I understand you a little bit. So that there will be no conflict of interest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as the head of a unit, I have to lead by example.
Yeah.
I cannot do otherwise.
You have to. I think number one is if you are really convinced about the business that you want to do, you should begin to plan your exit. You get what I'm saying? Honorably plan your exit. But while you are planning that exit, let it be a process. You get what I'm saying? Like I advised the other time, that before you leave a job, at least have a saving of 6 months from the current job that you had. You get what I'm saying? So have it saved so that will serve as a cushion while you are trying to build your brand. Amen and amen. You are in that organization to learn. Yeah, it's great that you are learning what you learn, and you are also seeing opportunities, but don't sow a seed that you don't want to reap. Because somebody is going to also work for you. It will also be your head of unit. And you don't want to experience what you gave to your former boss. So my advice is this: plan your exit. Decide for yourself, when am I leaving this job? Save money towards that. Discipline yourself, make sacrifices, and then exit honorably, and then you can easily start pushing your business. But know everything that needs to be known. Develop all the abilities that needs to be developed while you are at that business. I believe that whatever God exposes us to is able to give us. Amen. So that you are learning that you are in that business is because God can give you the same thing, but beyond that is plan your exit. While you are learning what you are learning, plan your exit. And once you decide on that, ensure that you have enough money that can cushion it so that it won't send you back to the employment again as soon as you leave.
Thank you, sir.
That's my candid advice. Thank you very much.